Welcome to Master the Game. I'm Juice, and tonight we're going to be talking about a few different things. We're going to be talking about some different RPG products I've got recently. We're going to answer your questions from the chat. You can see I've added some new things here. We've got like a little sub goal, thing. I don't know. I'm playing around with some things. I got a new stream deck over the holidays that I'm planning on using. And obviously you can see we've got the chat showing right here. So when I upload this later on to YouTube, we'll be able to see what's going on there too. So if you're unable to catch the whole thing and you want to catch the replay, you can go over to Master the Game RPG streams over on YouTube. It's a new channel I set up to capture all of our streams, in an archive and things like that. So you can always go back and watch old games and things like that. Now, that does not change anything with the regular Master the Game RPG channel. We're still going to do video tips, and we're going to be doing a lot more reviews on this channel in 2022. We're going to be sharing, we're going to get back to the basics. We're going to go back into, how certain rules work for different game systems. We're going to cover D&D5e. We're going to cover the Age system by Green Ronin. We are going to talk about Pathfinder 2nd Edition. We also are probably going to talk about Starfinder. We're going to be talking about a variety of games, Palladium books. We're going to talk about third-party products and so much more. So, a lot of stuff coming in 2022. Now, one of the things I want to talk about that I received today, the latest thing I received, is from my good friend Mark Tassin. He sent me some stuff for his homebrew setting. A while back they did a Kickstarter, had multiple books, things like that. I'm still waiting on the books. However, I did receive they're cards. They're kind of like inspiration cards. Basically, whoever your deity is, that determines what you can do. Now, if your deity is, say, Vale, for example, I believe you can spend these cards. Now, they're like, back looks like this, really pretty. Front will say your deity, I believe. The lighting's kind of rough on this. Let me see if I can fix that for you guys. These are really cool, by the way. There we go. The lighting's still kind of rough. But you can see right here, you'll play this card at a specific time in the game to get different things. So one of the first ones on here, and I don't know what the numbers mean exactly, but the first one on here, number 1 for Zavis, is Cunning. It has a little blurb. It says, before he even knows he's speaking, Delwas finds himself explaining to the guard how, as a royal wagon inspectors, yes, that's it, of course, they are supposed to be there. You play this card when you're trying to illegally enter a low security location, such as the backstage of a show, the kitchens of a restaurant, or similar mundane site. You come up with the perfect excuse for being there, and the guards and workers let you pass unmolested. Avatar, Various Silvertongue. So, yeah, a lot of cool stuff on here. These look really cool. So, these can't recommend enough. I believe that has to be your deity for it to work. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. I got to dive more into that. But these are really cool. I'm excited to figure that out when the books come. I do have the PDFs. It's just hard for me to sit there and read the PDFs. The other thing that came in the mail today was the DM screen inserts for Aetaltis. So there's some different things on here that are... I would say most of this is not necessarily in, like, Dungeons and Dragons. Like, this is specifically made within Aetaltis. So yeah, it's really cool. It talks about forced casting, overcasting, which we had talked when I had interviewed him. So if you want to go check that out, we have that over on our original Master the Game RPG YouTube channel. You can check out all the stuff that we had spoken about as it pertains to this. Let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, here we go. Oh, that's weird that my chat's not showing up on the screen. There it goes. That was weird. So Aetaltis, hey, welcome, buddy. Sending my copies of the books to you tomorrow. The rules for the cards are in the World of Aetaltis GM Guide. Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. All the players can add cards together to get more powerful effects. Yeah, they're really cool. Like, I was looking through it earlier, and some of the things in there are awesome. So here again, though, is the DM screen. We had talked about when I had interviewed Mark, who was in the chat. We had talked about some of the stuff like the overcasting and things like that. So really cool stuff in here. Holding breath rules, jumping, whether it's high or long jump. Just really good stuff. Now, the artwork is also beautiful on these. Looks like you have some kind of a giant over here. Got some kind of, not, I don't know if, I don't think those are dragons. There's no wings. Worms, maybe? Those are cool. Love this dude on top of the building here. The cow that's being eaten. Really good stuff here. This piece is cool. And then this one. Really cool stuff here. Even if you're not playing in Aetaltis, I feel like these GM screen inserts could be really useful. Object hit points. So, anyways, lots of cool stuff on there. Go check it out. We'll be doing a full-on review of everything Aetaltis in a future video, though, on YouTube. Now, the next cool thing that arrived, this recently arrived, was a package from Paizo. Now, Paizo sends us stuff from time to time, and I always get these little cards. I do not have the Pathfinder Adventure game. However, they send these little cards. This one is the Horse Chopper, which is a goblin weapon for Pathfinder. Really, really awesome. Without the card game, though, I don't know if I'm ever going to use that. Maybe I'll eventually get the card game. I was looking at the base set. I think it's like $55 on Amazon right now. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll check that out eventually. The other thing I got was Starfinder Galactic Magic. Now, like usual, Starfinder books are really pretty. I have the core rulebook and the beginner's box coming. I have never played Starfinder. So I don't really have an opinion on a lot pertaining to Starfinder. However, when those arrive and I figure it all out, I will definitely dive more in depth into the Starfinder books. Starfinder, from what I've heard, is a cross between Pathfinder 1st Edition and Pathfinder 2nd Edition. It's kind of in the middle. They incorporated some new rules that later on ended up in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, but not everything not everything in Pathfinder 2nd Edition is in Starfinder. So yeah. Now, again, this is called Galactic Magic, and I was looking in it. There's only like 10 pages with spells, so it looks like there's a lot about faith, a lot about like the galaxy itself. You've got about 20 pages that's about like magical factions, magic institutions, and phenomena. But again, there's a lot dedicated to the faiths, like Abadar, Besmara, Desna, Asmodeus. Like there's from page 94 to 137. So that's a lot of pages dedicated to that. There's also new classes in here that, again, there's the Precog Biohacker, Envoy, again, some of these might not be new. Envoy, Mechanic, Mystic, so on, like just a bunch. So anyways, it says the new Precog character class who can bend time to her will and outwit foes with combat predictions. Exciting ways to channel magical might with reality warping rituals and over 100 new spells. New player options from magical variants for every character class to legendary artifacts and magic items. Now, I love magic items, so that's kind of cool. Discoveries about the galaxy's most powerful mystical forces, from alignment, singularities, and metastars to deities and the boons they offer. A study of eldritch secrets and everyday arcana alike, including how a magic user navigates society and the organizations that might support and oppose them. Hey, thank you for gifting the sub, Aetaltis. I appreciate that. We're up to 3 in our sub goal. That's cool. Very cool. A study of eldritch secrets. I read that. So normally this book retails for $40. I do not know what Amazon or any of the other sites have it as. I want to say something like this is about $20 in PDF form. I could be wrong as well on that. I haven't double checked it. I need to. So yeah, there you go. Oh. All right, now into the Pathfinder stuff. And by Pathfinder stuff, they sent me, you know what, we'll do the flip map first. So they sent me a flip map. Now this is the enormous forest. It's a 30 by 46 mat, 1-inch squares. This one, I kind of wish we had this about 2 weeks ago because of a non-streamed game we're playing. We actually had an encounter where we had to like cross the river. There's a tree, and there's a perfect spot right here that this would have been amazing for. However, I didn't have it in time, so we didn't get to use it. But again, you can see the maps here. They're really, really nice. I love flip maps. I use these more than 3D terrain. Even some of the terrain I've crafted, I use flip maps far more than other means of terrain and things like that. It's just simple. You lay it down. You find something that's close enough representative-wise, and you can lay these down. They're also not extremely expensive. This retails for $25, and you get 2 large maps that you're going to use. I would say I could see myself using this multiple times, even throughout a campaign and just, reskinning it, saying it's something else. There's a camp here, so if you set up camp near the river, maybe you got that. There's a stone bridge on the second map. The first map, like I said, has like some logs hanging over it and like a little building. So again, I could see using that. There's also some cliffs on here on both maps, actually. So you could play with different levels of terrain, cover, all sorts of stuff with this in your games. And again, just in general, flip maps are extremely useful. So yeah, set that aside. All right. The next thing we got now. This one, I do like it. However, I do not think I will ever use this. And I'm just being honest with you guys here. This thing is massive. So this is the poster map folio for the City of Lost Omens, Absalom. It's multiple posters that make up the city from the book. It's absolutely massive. 4 folded, 21 1/4 by 32 1/2 maps. So you're talking about 42 1/2 inches by 65 inches ish, something like that. And that's how much space this takes up. As for the flip maps over there, you can. This you cannot. This is just a map. You would have to lay glass over this in order to write on these. They're cool, and these actually make it so you can see the buildings on these maps, which you can't in the book, and you can't from the pull-out map in the book, really. This makes it much more clear. But again, I just don't know. I don't think I'm ever going to use this. I mean, they're still small. Like, these buildings are tiny. This city is massive. You can see it here. Just absolutely massive. So, these little buildings, though, they're tiny. Tiny, tiny, tiny. Like, this area right here is about the size of a quarter. Oh, that's funny, because I'm using my green screen. You can't really tell. But this little area here is, like, a little bigger than a quarter. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'll ever use these. I don't have the wall space to put them up. But, I mean, I guess if I ever run a game inside of, Absalom, then I will use them. But I don't know if I ever will. So, yeah, very cool, though. If you are running campaigns around Absalom, maybe you're doing a Pathfinder Society campaign in there, and your players are members of the Pathfinder Society, maybe you'll do stuff with this. I don't know. It is cool. I just don't imagine myself using it. If I had a bigger game room, I would probably put that on the wall, just because I think it is probably going to look pretty impressive. So, the next one. So this campaign, this adventure path, looks really cool to me. Quest for the Frozen Flame. This one is Broken Tusk Moon. This is book 1 of 3. So these books are broken up by level. They're typically shorter adventures than, like, say, Rise of the Rune Lords, which is like 6 pages, or was originally, I think, 6 books, and they made it into a big book. Same thing with, like, what's the other one? The circus one. That was the one I wanted to run for a while. I don't know. I can't think of what it's called at the moment. But those other ones are typically 6 books. I have some of those over there. This one is only 3. but it packs a lot of stuff in here. Strength of Thousands, I think, was a 6-book one as well. But Broken Tusk Moon. So, spoilers, guys, if you're going to play in this, just be forewarned. The hunt begins. If the Broken Tusk following is to survive the coming year, their bravest scouts must carve a path through a harsh wilderness. Brutal beasts, wicked rivals, and in an inhospitable landscape challenge the trailblazers to withstand their enemies and the elements. But mere survival is not enough. To forge their legacies as mammoth lords, the scouts search for an ancient artifact to light the way forward. The primordial flame. The quest for the Frozen Flame adventure path begins with Broken Tusk Moon, a complete adventure for 1st to 3rd level characters. So yeah, I don't know. This one is right up my alley. I feel like these. I like combat and RPGs. It's, for me, probably the biggest draw to tabletop games. I like role playing. Don't get me wrong, but I do like combat. I like making combat-focused characters, and Pathfinder really lends itself to that. It also, I think, encourages different build types, trying different things. Now, sometimes I like to optimize, but not always. And typically within Pathfinder modules, adventure paths, things like that, in talking to people who have run more than I have, you tend to want to power game a little more, whether it's optimizing combinations between, people's classes and stuff or things like that, because they make them a little bit difficult. Now, looking through here, I can't gauge really how difficult this will be. However, the type of, things you fight and stuff like that, again, appeals to me. It looks like you're fighting like barbarians and, looks like mammoths. Just kind of creepy creatures here, like stuff like this. Like if I see this, I know I'm fighting it. I'm not going to try and talk my way out of this. Like I know I'm going to fight it. So again, I like stuff like that. Now I might try to talk to the barbarians and ease the combat a little, but yeah, I think... Oh, I just passed up a barbarian. There we go. Burning Mammoth Reavers and Burning Mammoth Hunters. So you have this, like, barbarian-looking guy here. Yeah, human. So, again, I'd probably try to fight this guy. I don't know. I probably wouldn't try to reason with him. I might. I just don't think I would. So, again, this one looks pretty interesting to me. Now, so that was kind of cool. So that was the stuff Paizo had sent me. Now, recently, I had an email where Beadle and Grimm had reached out to me. Now, Beadle and Grimm specializes in, I would say, high-end RPG products. They're going to cost a little more. However, they are exquisite quality, and they pay attention to detail when it comes down to it. Now, I've looked at these two things in depth, and I do have one criticism on one of them that is going to come in my review of the product. However, these are very, very nice. These are complete character chronicles. So this one is the complete Rogue Chronicle. This is for those of you who are going to play a rogue. In this book, you have blank character sheets, and other things like their birth certificate. And, like, again, the art in here, amazing. It is like a faux, I think it's fake. Yeah, it's got to be a fake leather, but it's really nice. Just really, really nice. It does have, you can see it has bookmarks. It has a red and a black one in here. It has a certificate of live birth right here, which the certificate, I'm holding this all funky. It also has sketches if you want to sketch in here. I'm not a good enough artist to ever do that, though. In fact, I don't know if I would be able to write in this. I'm one of those people that when I get a new notebook, I will wait to write in it. I'm one of those people, I need to just start writing, or else I'm never going to write in it. In fact, I have 2 notebooks on my desk I've just refused to write in. But yeah, so in here, it's got this certificate of birth, which is really cool. And it says place and date of birth, ancestry, gender, parents if known, conditions of birth, type of birth, and it has 2 options for that. It has loud as a distraction or stealthy because you're a rogue. It also has birthmarks, if any. Are they identifiable in a lineup? Has 2 options. Not really or uh-oh. Inherited allegiances, debts, or other tedious obligations. Inherited magical items in order of value. Family curses in order of unspeakable horribleness. And to be raised by parents, politicians, scoundrels, never-do-wells, miscreants, do-wells, or other. And then you can fill it in yourself. And then you get into the actual character sheet. So you can do your own character sheet here. But then it gets into, and it's got a lot of pages of different things for that, like important quests. You can keep track of all that. Other cool stuff. Now, it has everything you need to create a rogue character, except for races. You obviously have to use the other books for races and things like that. But yeah, you get into the rogue class and all of that. Abilities. It's got more stuff in the back, like notes that you can put in here. It's got maps. There are little quotes throughout the book that are, thematic. It's all thematic. So, for example, it says, now children, go to sleep. If you don't, Father Skinsaw will send his Skinsaw men to get you. Good stuff. But yeah, it's got some really cool stuff. This is a high-end product. This isn't something I would definitely recommend to you if you want to, have something. Like, say your group plays long campaigns and, you're going to be playing as a rogue probably for the next year or 2. Then yeah, go buy this one. Now, I also have another one here that they sent me. They sent me the Druid one. Now, this one's green, so it might not show up. We're going to find out really quick here if this actually shows up. It doesn't. It's stealthy. It's all green. Here, I'm going to turn off my green screen real quick. So you can actually see this. All right, so you can see this one's all green for the Druids. Same deal. You've got really nice artwork. More Druid stuff. Now, their birth certificate's a little different. Conditions of birth. When born, and it gives you 3 options. Birds sing, wolves howl, or flowers bloom. Same kind of stuff. Inherited quests, inherited magical items, family curses. And then it has to be raised by. Parents, polluters, wolves, tree huggers, arboreals, bear huggers, and other. And then the same thing, except this book actually has spells in it, whereas the other one obviously doesn't because you're a rogue. Or maybe it does. I don't think it does, though. Anyway, so then this says cobblestone, one of the quotes, cobblestone druid, street caller, city walker, call me whatever derogatory term you want. We can't all be wild druids. That's just one of the many quotes throughout the book. So again, a really nice high-end product. This one has a green and almost green little bookmark. Also, something I didn't talk about in the other one. They come with this tablet. I think it's like a combat tracker of some sort. Let me pull this up. This thing is really cool. So it comes with a battle board. On one side, it has all of the different things like hero points and how they work, basic actions, skill actions, death and dying conditions. And this thing's thick. Like, this is hard. It's like, I think it's plastic. It is dry erase because on the other side, you can put some of your attributes and spells and things like that. Notes, hit points, animal companion. So really, really good stuff. And the Rogue has one of these as well. It's just a little bit different because it doesn't have spells. So yeah, that is really awesome. I love it. Beadle and Grimm is one of those companies that when they reached out, I was just like, oh, wow, like, yes. So they make really, really high-end products. It's the cover is embossed. It's really, really nice. So, I'm sorry, not embossed. What is it when it's like indent? I don't know what it is. Not embossed. Embossed is when it like puffs out. It's the opposite. So, anyways, really nice. All right. So that was the Beadle and Grimm stuff. And Beadle and Grimm is sending me, I think, 1 or 2 other things as well that DBoss, thank you, that we'll be talking about hopefully when that stuff arrives. Now, the next stuff is from Green Ronin Publishing. They sent me quite a bit of stuff, and I am extremely thrilled with this. I am an affiliate. If you guys are interested in picking up any of the stuff directly from Green Ronin, I do get a little bit of commission, and you do save 5% on anything you purchase from their store using my link. You can find it by clicking on, if you go down in the About section here on Twitch, or in the description if you're watching the replay over on YouTube, go down to our social links, and you click that, and it brings up all my social links. You'll see in their Green Ronin affiliate link. You can save 5% on everything. They do The Expanse, they do Fantasy Age, Modern Age, Blue Rose, Mutants and Masterminds. They have novels over there, just a lot of cool stuff. And everyone I've ever interacted with over at Green Ronin has been amazing. I've interviewed multiple people from Green Ronin on the YouTube channel over the years, and just overall, they are amazing people. So the first one I'm kind of talking about here is Fantasy Age Campaign Builder's Guide. This is not necessary for Fantasy Age. However, this is a good book for anything. Like, even if you're running D&D or Pathfinder or something else, this book has some amazing tips in it for running campaigns. It's $32.95. And here's what it says on the back. Build worlds of high adventure. I'm going to turn on my green screen again just for, because I think it looks better and it's easier to see. So let me do that real quick. I need to set up a button on my Stream Deck for that. I'll do that sometime soon. All right, there we go. All right, Build Worlds of High Adventure. Welcome to the Fantasy Age Campaign Builder's Guide, a book of advice, examples, and in-depth discussion of various elements of tabletop fantasy role-playing campaigns aimed specifically at Fantasy Age. Included within, you'll find in-depth analysis of campaign structure, which they have like a sheet in here on how to do it and stuff. I actually really like it. I'm going to make some tweaks to it and how I would do it, but again, it's really awesome, especially if you're new to running, RPGs. The setup and play frameworks. Step-by-step advice on designing challenging encounters and interesting adventures. Monster and character design assistance to help GMs make convincing, compelling, and challenging adversaries and foils for their campaigns. Information on designing religions and divinities. Notes on taking your campaigns beyond ordinary power levels and into the realms of truly epic adventure. Modifying and adjusting your campaigns to embrace various fantasy subgenres, such as fantasy horror, historical fantasy, or post-apocalyptic horror. An assortment of helpful tables throughout the book to help generate everything from businesses and criminal organizations to cults and religions. Each chapter includes detailed examples of the advice and guidelines within, showing how to directly implement the tools and advice of the Campaign Builder's Guide. Fantasy Age Campaign Builder's Guide requires the Fantasy Age Basic Rulebook, and users will find the Fantasy Age Companion and Fantasy Age Bestiary exceptionally useful when using this book. Step up your game with Fantasy Age Campaign Builder's Guide. So again, I thought there were some really good things in here for running just any campaign. You don't need to be talking about Fantasy Age. So again, I think this is a good book to pick up. To me, this is probably up there with the Pathfinder 1e Game Mastery Guide. For instance, that Game Mastery Guide is one of my favorite books of all time. I still have copies of that book in my adventure creation binder I've made because there's just so much useful stuff in that book. This one is useful for more of the tips. It's kind of a fun read as well. just taking like tips and ideas for different things. Again, it's a lot of reading, not so much crunch, and again, not necessarily specific to Fantasy Age. There are tables, there are stunts, there are things associated with Fantasy Age, but again, this I think is just a good general advice book. Here is, yes, okay, so here's the thing I was talking about. So you have the campaign frameworks, the campaign arcs here, players and characters up there. So again, you're going to fill this stuff out and kind of map out your campaign ahead of time for the most part. And then in here, it's got reward mapping by level. Again, this part is kind of tailored towards Fantasy Age or Dragon Age or Blue Rose or any of the Age system games. But you could take this as inspiration for doing this for other games. Which, again, I'm probably going to take these ideas and use this for my own prep for a variety of games. I'm going to make my own sheet and use this as kind of like a jump off point. Because again, this is a good little chart. So there's that. I'll just have to set this back over here. All right, the next one is the Fantasy Age Companion. The Fantasy Age Companion is specific to Fantasy Age. It talks about like using different races and things like that in it. Again, it's a helpful book. This one's helpful, though, mostly if you play Fantasy Age. You could use this for, Dragon Age and other things if you want to incorporate your own stuff. Fantasy Age and Dragon Age are almost completely compatible. There's some subtle differences, but yeah. So the back of it reads, "Your Age of Heroes has arrived. The Fantasy Age Companion provides a plethora of new rules and play options for your Fantasy Age role-playing game campaign. This book expands upon the core Fantasy Age rules and provides alternative game systems so that you can build rules and characters which fit any setting and genre you desire. This book contains new character races for Fantasy Age, from the Primal Beastfolk to the Mechanical Orion. New talents and specializations including Bard, Beastmaster, Diplomat, Gunfighter, and Martial Artist." Now, if you're familiar with Fantasy Age, you know it's only 3 classes, so having different specializations is how you make your character unique from other ones of the same class. New magical arcana, new spells for existing arcana, and new forms of magic. Channel power from the gods or wield the death, enchantment, or psychic arcana. So the original Fantasy Age is kind of light on magic, I feel. So having more to incorporate into that is, I think, a good thing. Advanced rewards, including noble titles, honorifics like Master of the Blade, and organizational memberships, which give characters power and respect in your game world. Mighty artifacts, which demand epic quests to unlock their secrets or deal with their dangerous drawbacks. There are magic items in Fantasy Age, but there's not a strong focus on magic items, especially in the core books. And so having some additional things is kind of nice, I think. Rules for mass combat and organizations, which place the fate of thousands in characters' hands. Vehicle, chase, and structure rules covering everything from steampunk car chases to chariot races and assaults on castle walls. Rules for relationships, followers, and antagonists, which let you design boon companions and dire enemies. Numerous ways to customize Fantasy Age's rules, organize stunts into packages, adjust the game's lethality, and more. This book opens the way to new genres and campaign styles. Run a steampunk campaign with gunfighters and clockwork cars, or a battle of good versus evil featuring divine magic and blooded characters descended from dark and angelic beings. The possibilities are endless, the choices are yours. So again, good book, especially if you play Fantasy Age. I like Fantasy Age. I like the Age system. We play Dragon Age on this channel. We just wrapped up a Blue Rose. Short, 3-session arc. We might run more Blue Rose on the channel as well. So stay tuned for that. Now, the next one is Fantasy Age Layers. This book is basically a bunch of short, adventures that you can run. I haven't dove too much into this yet. However, there are some cool monsters and things in here. Welcome to Fantasy, or Into the Belly of the Beast. Welcome to Fantasy Age Layers. This collection from, oh, hang on. Oh, it looks like I scratched this book already. Oh well. Welcome to Fantasy Age Layers. This collection from some of the finest writers in gaming introduces powerful new adversaries, along with their lairs, minions, and recommendations for using these threats in your Fantasy Age campaigns. Also included are the all-new location stunts, allowing enemies and heroes alike to better use their environment and play. Some of these menacing monsters and their lairs include the ravenous Ghoul Prince, who rules his army of flesh-eaters from his crumbling keep. The legendary Clockwork Dragon, terrorizing the skies from its mountain stronghold, along with its army of mechanical monsters. The corrupted Dark Druid, whose twisted magic threatens all who enter his cursed valley. The blood-crazed Sea Queen, bringing madness and slaughter with her berserker minions, blood magics, and deadly living island reef. Each layer also includes an adventure framework for introducing the menace into Fantasy Age campaigns, as well as numerous adventure seeds and ideas for further encounters. It's about $35. This, again, anything you can drop and play in your campaigns, especially like spur of the moment, I think is always nice. Gives you some new stat blocks for monsters, for example. Yeah, it exactly as I was reading. You know, it adds a lot of stuff here. Tells you how to role play some of the areas. Gives you some stuff to read up on the area. So again, you can just drop it in your games. Again, a really nice book, and yeah, kind of reminds me of the Genesis setting sheet. Oh, in the campaign planning book, or that campaign planning sheet. Yeah, it's really cool. I don't own Genesis. I have the Star Wars games by Fantasy Flight. But yeah, I've heard good things about Genesis. They sent me the Mutants and Masterminds Game Master's Guide. I don't have the other books yet, but they did send me this. So I have not dove into this yet. It's a nice, thick little book. I love superhero games. So this is one that I'm actually really interested in checking out. And so I can't wait till I get those other books and I can really dive into this game itself and see what I think of it. I'm excited to create some characters for it. Maybe we'll do a video on that. And we will be reviewing Mutants and Masterminds hopefully soon. Got some Modern Age products. Still waiting on the core book, but I got the setting book for Threefold. It's kind of like a modern setting, and I'll read it here to you. Adventure across 1,000 realities. Or, I'm sorry, I guess it's not modern. It's futuristic. The world we know is in one of many planes of existence. Some are alternate worlds, where history took strange, even apocalyptic paths. Some are other worlds, where weird realms where magic leaves its blazing mark through cities built on the back of monsters and the floating warships of demigods. Finally, demon princes with wills of iron rules the netherworlds. Planes with twisted natural laws and legions of tormented souls. In ornate archways or simple alley doors, gates connect the myriad planes. You know where to find them. You've been initiated into the truth. You might belong to the Sodality, an organization that protects the innocent and explores the planes, or you might be an agent of Aethon, a transhuman operative who protects Earth from strange forces and manipulates the histories of alternate worlds for your AI masters. Battle gods and cyborgs, navigate the Cold War between transplanar empires, and uncover the mysteries at the heart of Threefold, the first original setting for the modern age role-playing game. Threefold presents a vast metacosm able to support virtually any character concept, even any genre within it. Threefold includes characters with extraordinary powers and provides additional rules and powers for soul talents, magic, psychic disciplines, occultuals, and technological enhancements. Threefold unleashes the full potential of modern age. Yeah, about $40. The artwork right here reminds me of Final Fantasy a little bit. So, yeah. Anyways, this, again, looks interesting to me. And as someone who really likes the age system, I would like to play in this. So, no plans right now to stream this game, but down the line, If I find some people interested, I would definitely do it, especially if they wanted to run it. Right now we have some campaigns we have to wrap up before we add anything new though to the channel. I think so. Tonight in about 45 minutes, right here on this Twitch channel, we will be streaming our Pulp Cthulhu game. We're on episode 42. Tonight's episode is called Professor Magneto and Bobby X. So to give you an idea, this is kind of like an alternate Earth. It dabbles with space. We've traveled through time in this campaign. We've been in the Weird West. We've been in World War II, where Sweden are kind of like the Nazis. We've fought Cthulhu in this camp. It's a wild campaign, but it's been a lot of fun. But we'll be playing that at 8:30. It's not safe for work. If you're at work or watching around children, don't. Make sure you have earbuds in or something, because it's not appropriate for children. But anyways, yeah, so that's happening in 45 minutes. So once that campaign wraps up, who knows? Maybe we'll look to add another one on the channel. I kind of, though, want to get rid of like maybe 2 or 3 campaigns before I add another one, because we've got like 7 or 8 campaigns we're running on the channel right now. So I want to wrap them up, though, before I move on to a new one. Modern Age Enemies and Allies. It's basically a monster manual for Modern Age. You got like a cybernetic guy here. I think there's like some aliens. There's, robot things. There's all sorts of stuff in here. Constructs, different like spellcasters. There's like an MMA fighter. Like there's all sorts of things in this book. But yeah, field agents, police, military, a lot of good stuff. Modern Age Companion. Now I have not opened. I don't even think I've opened this actually. But I would assume it's like the Fantasy Age Companion, except for Modern Age. Probably heavily focused on adding classes and things like that to, yeah, it's basically like Modern or the Fantasy Age one. So you got different custom backgrounds, professions, new focuses. Yeah, okay. New talents, specializations, things like that. Alternate rules, extraordinary abilities. Yeah, okay. It looks pretty cool. New technology. Yeah, anyways. Also, they sent me the GM screen for Modern Age, and the thing that's nice about the Age GM screens is you get these, you get like a crib sheet deal here. Well, this is the initiative thing. So you can do the initiative, and it's got some rules there. But in their stunt charts, which are also nice to have, quickly handy, you have rules on how to do certain things. So here it is. Major actions and minor actions, how the skills work, and then vehicle rules. So you get a lot with this one that, again, when we start diving into playing Modern Age, that's going to be invaluable. I use my Fantasy Age and Dragon Age charts all the time when I'm playing Blue Rose, Fantasy Age, Dragon Age. I use them all the time, and I swear by them. So yeah, that's pretty much everything that was sent to me recently. It's a lot of stuff that I'm going to be reviewing. We have, again, a few more things coming. I get a new package about once a month from Paizo. I usually have to wait till the end of the month to open it and talk about it. I usually get it, a few days early. But yeah, so I get that, and then occasionally I'll get other stuff too. So the plan here moving forward is to get, multiple reviews done on these things. We currently are going through 5e stuff at the moment over on our YouTube channel. We're going to be hitting Pathfinder a little more once we get through some of the D&D stuff. And we're also going to be doing full, like, a Fantasy Age review and going through actually how to play Fantasy Age, Modern Age, and Dragon Age on this channel over on our YouTube channel. We have 2 YouTube channels, like I said. We have a streaming one now that I just split off from the regular channel, and the core regular channel. which is just videos. I posted some shorts over there today that I've taken from TikTok, because we do TikToks as well. And I'm just having a good time with it all. I'm looking forward to a lot of things. Unfortunately, my game room area here is not as warm as I would like. You can probably hear the garage heater kicking right now. So when days are really cold, it kind of screws up my schedule here for filming. But I anticipate that when things warm up a little bit, especially come March, we're going to be able to do a lot of videos. So, yeah. Oh, Paul, I didn't even notice that was you, buddy. For some reason, I thought that was someone else chatting. Lord Lapsor is Paul. He's from our Discord server. If you're not part of the Discord, head on over there. Yeah, would love to have you over there. We talk about all sorts of RPG stuff. We talk about our personal life. I talk about what's going on with my family, and stuff like that. So we've got a off-topic area. We've got a mechanics channel. If you like to paint minis, we share some of that stuff over there. So we do a lot of that stuff. But yeah, so good to see you, Paul. I'm glad you could join us. So anyways, we got all that stuff. We've got, I'm going to be doing a comprehensive, so the next big video on my channel is a comprehensive combat guide for D&D5e. Been working on that. So that should be up hopefully within, I'm aiming for by Valentine's Day. That's my next big video over there that I'm pretty excited about. I've got some smaller videos I'm working on. Like I said, I'm planning on doing Pathfinder, Fantasy Age, Modern Age, Dragon Age. I'll probably cover Mutants and Masterminds, some Palladium Books products. There's also a new RPG I got that I would like to do more with, but if there's no interest on this channel, I'm not going to do it. And that's Worldwide Wrestling, the RPG. It's basically you make a wrestler and you role play it out. It's not so much about winning and losing as the winner is predetermined, just like in real life wrestling. You kind of deal with a little bit behind the scenes. But I would like to probably cover that. If there's enough interest, I will do so. Again, we're going to cut down on the streams. There's some one-shots and short campaigns, again, I want to do, like Modern Age, Mutants and Masterminds, Heroes Unlimited, Rifts, Pathfinder 2nd Edition. As a player, I don't want to run Pathfinder 2nd Edition for a while, but I want to play it. Worldwide Wrestling, like I was just talking about. I don't know if when some of these D&D campaigns end, if I'm going to add new ones. We've got currently Pulp Cthulhu, which is in about 40 minutes. We've got BX, Keep on the Borderlands. We play every other Friday. I think we're playing that next week. I think that's next week. We also have a Descent into Avernus campaign where we're playing as kobolds. We have a Tyranny of Dragons campaign. We have the Blackrock Adventures, which is my homebrew 5e, one of my 5e homebrew campaigns. And then we have a Patreon game that is streamed on Sundays. I think we're at once every 4 weeks for that. That's called Swamplands of Thakos. So again, we have a ton of games we're currently running on the channel. That's 5e campaigns and 2 other campaigns. So 7 campaigns. If I can get that down to 4, I will then probably add 1 more campaign. And like I said, just one-shots. So we have a lot of live gaming happening on this channel. I also play in an off-stream game as well that is Tomb of Annihilation. So we play a lot of different stuff. And that's the only one that's not streamed. Plans on doing Palladium games on the channel. So I kind of just answered that. I do want to do Heroes Unlimited. I was supposed to run it in December. We had a lot of things going on in December. So it did not happen. That's on me. But hopefully moving forward, we can get that going. I need to reach out to everyone about that who's already planning on playing that. I want to say we had the full group. I was making characters for it because I was going to make some pre-gens for people. I didn't finish that. That was the other issue I had. I never got that complete. So, yeah. But yes, the plan is to do some Palladium on the channel for sure. As someone who is a Palladium Books fan, I would like to. And again, if there's interest, I'm definitely going to lean into that. So yeah, if that's something you want to see, check out our other Palladium videos, give us likes and comments, share it with other Palladium fans. Because again, I kind of right now I'm doing the 5e stuff. There's a few videos I really want to do for D&D5e. Some of it because I don't like the older videos I did on it about 5-6 years ago, so I want to revisit some of those. But there's, I'm not going to just do 5e content. I'm someone who likes a lot of games, so I do a little bit here, a little bit there. So I might do a Pathfinder video tomorrow, and then the day after that I might do a Palladium video, and then I might do a D&D5e video. I'm a little bit of a variety channel. I do tend to do a lot more 5e stuff, but I also run more 5e and play more 5e games. So it's kind of in relation to what games I run more of at the moment. I'd like to do more with the age system, though. That is, in my opinion, the age system is one of the best out there. It really is. I really like how it plays. It can be very lethal. However, I like the damage reduction. I like how simple it is with 3d6. The stunt points, I like and dislike depending on the tone. Like sometimes, especially if someone's newer to it, when they are using stunt points, it throws them off. It takes them a minute to find something. So it does slow things down a touch, but I think once you've played it for a little bit, especially with certain characters, you gravitate towards some stunts over others. And so you then tend to know what you want to do more. It doesn't take long to figure that out, I feel. And again, they're really cool. Like, the fact that you can't always do it, and it's just like, oh yeah, I rolled doubles, I got 4 stunt points. All right, I'm gonna do this thing that does extra damage, or I'm gonna do this one that allows me to do an extra attack, or this one that allows me to get an advantageous position, or this that allows me to taunt everybody so they all come at me, or whatever. I think it's really cool. It allows for some interesting things to happen in combat that you don't necessarily plan for. It also makes it so combat isn't so rinse and repeat, same thing every single time. For example, when you play most D20 games, especially like D&D or Pathfinder 2nd edition even, people have like their rotations, as they're called. They're like, oh, I'm going to do this, then this, then this, and they just kind of do the same rotations. Stunt points kind of change that up and mix that up. As a DM, you can do things to encourage people to try different stuff, like throwing in different terrain or cover, or maybe large weapons or things in the environment that are movable, maybe different environmental timers that can change the scene and mid combat. Those things can encourage players to do different things, but again, I think the stunt points also kind of help mix it up a little bit and keep it fresh. So yeah. By the way, guys, I have a poll going on over on Twitter. If you go to my Twitter page, again, there's a lot of plugs tonight. I haven't been on a stream in a little bit, it feels like. But we are doing a poll for if you ever currently or will fudge dice rolls. Not have you ever, would you ever? Now, this has come up for a few reasons. Over on TikTok, for example, I've seen people saying that most people fudge dice rolls, and I was kind of surprised by that. I do not. However, I used to. About 6 years ago, I think was around the last time I did it. I used to pull punches if I thought I was going to kill a character. Especially if I thought it was going to be anticlimactic. I used to pull punches, and I used to do other things. I used to change monster HP if I thought it was too easy, because I wanted a certain tone to combat. I still go for a tone in combat. If I want something lethal, I go for it. If I want an easier combat, I go for it. But I don't adjust anything behind the screen. I don't fudge dice rolls. I'm not saying if you do that, you're wrong. I just don't agree with doing that, because since I quit doing that, I have had more fun running games. On top of that, when I've played games and I found out my DMs fudged dice rolls, I actually became skeptical of the game. Tension is out the window when you think your DM fudges dice rolls, for me. And that's unfortunate because you can get a lot of attention if you think there's a chance your character's going to die, and it makes combat more fun, in my opinion. So, yeah. So, anyways, that's just kind of my take on it. But I would love it if you guys would go and check out the poll on Twitter. There are 3 options. It's yes, no, and I would never tell, or something like that. Obviously, I would never tell. I'm leaning towards that means yes, you would. But again, I'm going to count that as the same answer as yes for the purpose of the poll. But if you could go over to Twitter, ask or answer that anonymously. If you feel like jumping in on the conversation, we've got, I think, over 300 votes on that poll, and there's been quite a few comments on it. So again, signal boost it. I want to get as many people as I can who play RPGs to vote on it. So I get, I mean, obviously it's not going to be accurate, right? We're talking about hundreds of people in the grand scheme of things voting when there's millions of people who play RPGs. So, you know, but for the sake of doing a future video or TikTok or whatever, it would be nice to have that poll and the data from that poll. So again, would love it if you guys would go and vote on that. With that, though, I do have to go and prepare for my game tonight. I got to make sure my overlays are good. I'm going to be tweaking some things. I'm probably going to include the sub goal on the overlay as well. So again, if you could, again, come back at 8:30. We'll be streaming our Pulp Cthulhu game. We don't usually start on time. Sometimes we're about 10, 15 minutes late, but be here at 8:30. I'll be in the chat. You can talk to me before our game. And yeah, would love to have you guys there. We go about 3.5 hours. And again, it's a wild time. It's not always politically correct. We have some unique characters in the campaign. It's a more funny campaign than it is horror, but there are some fun little creepy elements to it throughout the campaign, and it's just been a lot of fun. So it is almost at the conclusion. I think we've got like another month left to play, and we're at episode 42 tonight. So again, would love to see you guys there. Thank you guys for watching. Again, if you have a Amazon Prime account and you aren't using your sub for anyone on Twitch, I would love it if you would subscribe to our channel here. We always appreciate you guys, and yeah, trying to grow the channel and do some fun stuff with it. Gonna hopefully be getting a new computer that can handle streams a little bit better so I can add more cool things to our streams in the future. So again, please do so, and yeah, just know that we really appreciate you. This was Master the Game. I am Juice. Game on.